Why, hello there. Welcome to Grade 10 Art with Jasmine Axmix. Today, I will be showing you my three favorite art projects from Grade 10. Let's begin. The first project I will be reviewing is my watercolor project. For the watercolor project, I chose to paint a sunset scene with a silhouette of two palm trees and a woman in a hammock. I chose to paint this scene because it reminds me of my first vacation in Myrtle Beach. I also like the contrast between the bright background and the dark foreground in this image. Two techniques that I used to make this image come to life was a gradient wash in the background and dry brush for the palm trees. Some things that are successful are the gradient wash background and the black silhouette. The gradient wash worked because the color blends very well together. The dark silhouette creates nice contrast, which makes it work. The dry brush also makes leaves on palm trees look more real than cartoony. Lastly, something that didn't work was creating the clouds and the horizon line. I could have added more color to both objects to make them more visible. For this project, I used various colors of watercolor paint, a few different brush sizes, and water. Okay, moving on. For the realism project, I chose to draw a female's eye. I really enjoyed this piece of work. It is one of the only successful eyes that I've drawn. It is successful because the shading really enhances parts of the eye. The shading also adds nice depth to the picture. One thing that I could have improved on is the detail in the eyeball. There is some detail there, but some color would have really made the eye pop. Later on in the year, I put this image into Photoshop. I added some color into the eye, some skin tone, and darkened the eyebrow. Then I copied the image onto paint, flipped it, saved it, then put the pictures beside each other on Photoshop to make them look like a pair of green eyes. I think this was very successful. The color makes the eyes look more realistic, and so does the shading. One thing that I didn't think was successful was the blending of the two pictures. You can kind of still tell that it was two separate pictures, put together, but other than that, I am very happy with the color, shading, texture, and overall look of this piece. Thirdly, I really enjoyed my Greek coin prints. I chose this project as one of the projects to include in the slideshow because of how much time and effort I put into these coins. The overall process was very long and kind of tedious after a while. I really liked how we made the coins themselves. First, we learned how to draw in profile, and then we had to draw a creature from a myth. With a little bit of carving and painting, this was the end result. I think the ink distribution is very even throughout my pieces, and I also thought the use of space was very successful. There is quite a bit of detail. This also makes the piece stand out. I think that in some parts, the table I was working on would leave creases in the styrofoam, resulting in awkward lines throughout the coin. Other than that, I believe I did very well in this piece, and I really did enjoy working on it.
Wow, tell me more.
No, we don't have time for that. Tune in next week for Grade 10 Art with Jasmine Axmix. I am Jasmine Axmix. Have a good night.